You don't want to be in the lowlands. You want to be on higher ground. Lord, lift me up to higher ground. And there are times when the battle is hot against our soul. There are times when the waters are come into our soul. David says, the waters have come into my soul. I'm kind of drowning here. Maybe I'm drowning because of a situation that I'm dealing with. And I feel like I'm going to go under. This is going to overwhelm me. And so David says, when my heart is overwhelmed, I need higher ground. I need a rock. I need a better position to deal with this because I can't deal with this in my own self. My emotions are too powerful right now. They can sweep me with them into a place that I really shouldn't go to. And I want to say that we can sing songs about him being our refuge, our God in whom we trust. But you know when it really matters? It matters in the thick of the battle. It matters when the floods are come in. It matters when the situation is getting hairy. And something is going on without us that is affecting us within. Whether it be strong desire, whether it be strong emotion, that's when our greatest temptation comes. That's when the enticement comes. That's when the being drawn away happens. When instead of going to God and getting stabilization, instead of going to God quickly, and getting some help in order to not be swept away, then that strong desire, that strong emotion conceives and brings forth sin. And sin, when it's finished, brings forth death. You know, there's a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I say they get going to God. Amen. They get going to God. And it's not an issue of retreat so that you never deal with something. It's a matter of making your retreat to Him to find out His way that you're supposed to deal with it. Because if we're quick to speak and quick to get angry, whatever we do will not be the righteousness of God, and it will not lead to anything good. The wrath of man does not work the righteousness of God. And when we're in the grip of fear, and when we're in the grip of anger, we have the real possibility of moving presumptuously, moving in our own selves to do something that's not wise. We need wisdom. Where do you find wisdom? You find wisdom from above. And you've got to be willing to resort to God. He is your strong habitation to whom you are to resort continually. Seek the Lord and His strength. Seek the Lord, seek His face, seek His presence continually. And this is how we become people who have temperance. An intemperate person cannot control their desires or their emotions. They're out of control. Temperance is a fruit of God's Spirit. It says, a man who cannot rule his own spirit is like a city whose walls are broken down. You let the sun go down upon your anger. You wake up the next morning still holding anger. I'm going to tell you, you have given place to the devil. You will not have wisdom from above. You will have wisdom from below. Because unless you let God fill up that place, you know, there are situations in our life that create trauma. That trauma needs the ministry of God's Spirit. And if we don't get from God His ministry, we are going to be receiving the devil's ministry. It's one or the other. If you're not letting God come in, you're going to be, by default, allowing the enemy to fill up that space. And that's part of the problem. We go through all various events that are vexing, troubling, that affect us deeply. And we go days on end without really resorting to God. Yeah. We don't call upon Him. We don't say, hear my cry, O God, attend unto my prayer. Lord, I don't want to deal with this on my own. Neither do I want the enemy to counsel me on how to deal with this or show me how I should deal with it. Lord, I want you to first help me. You know, we say, but there's times when we need to be angry. There's times when we need to be afraid of something. There's times when we need to take action. I would just say to that, whatever your actions are going to be, need to be under God. Need to be by the direction of God. Need to be, whatever it is that's you feel you need to do, it needs to be channeled by God. Yeah, God may call you to take some kind of action, but you can't go directly from your emotions or your desires to action. You have to go from your emotions and your desires to God, get wisdom, and then deal with it. Deal with the situation. And if there's a delay and you don't go to God, what you might do during that period is not going to be good. You're going to regret that you didn't get to God sooner. So, how many here want maturity in your life? I want maturity. I want to be a mature person. If you want to be a mature person, you then become someone who can bridle your tongue. And you're not going to be able to bridle your tongue, and the words of your mouth are not going to be acceptable if your heart is going to be overwhelmed and filled with all kinds of raging emotions or desires. Because out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth's going to speak and you're going to act. So the real issue is this: who do you want to rule? Who do you want to rule? If you want God to rule, you're going to have to get under Him. You're going to have to look to Him. And if the Holy Spirit is the one who is leading you and guiding you and instructing you in the way that you should go, you're not only going to have wisdom, but you're going to have temperance. You're going to be ruling your own spirit because the Holy Spirit is going to be ruling you. And then you're going to be known as a mature person, as a wise person. It says, see a man who is hasty in his words, there's more hope of a fool than of him. Haste, haste. He that hasteth with his feet sinneth. It is not good for the soul to be without knowledge. We need wisdom. We need understanding. We need knowledge in order to make war, in order to go forth, not in our own selves. When did David get in trouble? When he moved in his own self, in his own strong desires, without consulting with God. He was about to kill Nabal and Nabal's house, slaughter him. Why? Because his heart was overwhelmed. He hadn't gone to the rock that was higher than he was. He hadn't prayed. And that's why the weapons of our warfare can't be carnal, but mighty through God. Our greatest weapon is prayer. I go to God. Before I go to man, I go to God. I go to God. Lord, may the preparations of my heart and the answer of my tongue be from the Lord. Lord, what do you have to say about Nabal? And then he has this wise woman, the wife of Nabal, Abigail, come and say, you don't want to deal with this in your own self. Because if you do, if you keep on the path you're on, you are going to regret it. It is going to, your heart later is going to regret what you're doing right now. Thank God that David could be stopped in his tracks. Thank God David could arrest himself and bless Abigail for her advice and her wisdom. Thank you. I appreciate the fact that you stopped me. Now, here's someone who understood what he was capable of without God. And so what did he say? Lord, when my heart is overwhelmed, help me not to put it in automatic and just do what comes naturally. Help me to seek you. Help me to be someone who prays. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and you shall hear my voice. I'm going to go to you first. And then the next verse says, I will abide in thy tabernacle forever. The word forever is really the word which means continually. Verse 3 says, for thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in thy tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of thy wings. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to abide. I'm going to remain. Until not only I know you've heard from me, but I've heard from you. I'm going to abide. He that abides under the shadow of the Almighty. I'm going to abide. I'm going to remain. I'm going to get wisdom from God. I'm going to get direction from God. do something, do something. Yeah, I'll do something. I'm going to go to God. I'm going to allow Him to order my steps. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. No, I'm not going to be pushed into doing something. No, I'm not going to be under some false sense of compulsion. No, I'm not going to obsess over something to the degree that I then feel I have to do something. No, I'm going to take it to the Lord and I'm going to ask Him, you show me. You show me. I don't want to lean to my own understanding on the matter. You show me what it is. You show me how I should be thinking about this. You show me if I should be thinking about this or letting it go. You show me whether you want to take care of it or you want to make me be some kind of extension of your hand. Do I need to concern myself with this or do I need to cast this care upon you? These are all things that happen when the Lord is our wonderful counselor, when we're living with Him consulting us. Is this big in your eyes? Is this little in your eyes? Is this something that you're going to take care of without my having to say one word? Or do you want me to say something? Then tell me what I should say. How many of us here can slow down enough to have this kind of relationship with God? You know, if we were living this kind of way, I'll tell you, we'd have much more peace with each other. We'd have much more peace with each other. Why? Because we would be allowing the Prince of Peace to rule in our hearts. So this is really what I'm really talking about now is do we want this kind of dependency upon God? Because that's what trust in God is about, dependency upon God. Do we want this daily dependency upon God? And is this dependency with God going to be there in the most volatile moments of our life? In the most tumultuous moments of our life? When the storm is hitting us? Do we know where to run for shelter? Do we know where to run to get help? So that's my word to you today. Anybody else have anything to say?